All right, so we got to talk about the markets.
What's going on today?
Well, apparently everything's melting down.
Yeah, I include my account too.
Yeah, and true story, I actually keep asking how much we have in the Korean market, and
Yeah, my answer always don't ask.
I can see the colors, but I actually don't know the amount. True story, I can see the colors, and they all kind of go one direction today. But hopefully it's not too much because I've been warning Yeji. Because true story, Yeji got some silver that's been going crazy a while.
Yeah, but that's not at least not negative.
Yeah, I was hope not. I don't know.
It's
I actually don't know.
So stop asking. It's just up and down.
So I think a lot of people are going to be having these conversations. If you are heavily in the market, you can't just laugh it off because a lot of people are in debt actually in the market.
Yeah, that's true. We've been Korea market. It's been going really good. Last year. So I don't know. Since last week, everything is melting down. I don't know. Some people might really hurt from that.
Well, see, the problem is, and this is actually also a true story, Yeji's dad has been asking me about Bitcoin, of all things. True story. So they always say when, the dad starts asking, or the taxi driver, or, the person who cuts your hair or whatever, the barber, starts talking about Bitcoin.
Then it's time to get out.
Time to get out, for real. And I don't know, when your dad, it was the last time we were up there, I don't know, it was like a month ago or something like that. He's like, what do you think about, coin? They just call it coin here. And I'm just like, don't get in the coin. It's at the top. He's like, but I heard it's gone up a whole bunch. Like, that's when people hear, when it's like, goes up 100%. And they're like, oh, I better buy some. And you have this, like, this crazy, leverage in the market. Too many people borrowing money.
Yeah. So I don't know if they cannot pay back, there's no money to hold the stock, it's gonna melt down. And it's all foreign monies, going out too.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask in the Korean market, foreign money is leaving, and a lot of money is based on bonds.
So today
what's that?
It was the circuit breaker again because it went down so quickly. So they had to stop the market.
Yeah, so the U.S. will do that on individual stocks.
We do the whole market. Yeah, we do have individual stock too, but it was the whole market was melting down.
So you just freeze the whole market?
Yeah, for like 20 minutes.
Now, we will do that occasionally. Like occasionally. So for example, let's say there's a major event, say like a 9/11 type of event, or something of that nature. They may just like halt trading for a day, or whatever.
Not a day here. So when I talk to my friends, now it's a circuit breaker and sidecar, and it's only 20 minutes. We need 20 hours. It's just
yeah. There's too many orders are coming in, and they don't want everything to melt down. The thing that's really worrying, though, and I'm sure we talked about in the last video, is the war in Iran, basically. And one thing I've noticed in like all the news, and I don't know about Korean news, so the publications, be it Financial Times, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, they all just call it war now. So no one's well, I won't say no one. We'll say the U.S. hasn't declared war officially because the Congress is supposed to do that. But I mean, it's a war. There's no other way to put it. But are you guys using the word war in Korean?
We are not using, basically it's World War III, right? So if it's a big war, but we're not called that yet. But
yeah, so we won't be at World War III unless, say, Russia and China decide to like really get actively involved. But I mean, Russia's already in the conflict with war, basically with Ukraine.
It's been 4 years.
Is it that long already?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Ukraine, will China make a move on, say, Taiwan? With North Korea, is like, hey, I'm going to attack Seoul. No, I mean, you never know in this. I kind of don't. I'm not. People always ask about the North Korea thing. I'm not particularly worried, but I mean, who knows with what we're facing right now. So, but yeah, I'm not worried. Are you worried about North Korea?
Not really here.
It's hard to explain. The North Korea thing is usually something more you hear about in the American news than you would in the Korean news. It's not that North Korea is not there. They're there. They're literally north of us, and you can actually see it from here. You can go to the border and you can go see it, but it's not.
It's not really. We don't really worry about that.
Yeah, it doesn't dominate our news like it does the American news. And but this is where we're at. The one thing that's really bad about the oil stuff is that it's going to hurt the people towards the bottom of the economic scale the most.
Yeah, and actually people hurting right now. You buy the car, gas price.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
And I think we just made a law that there's a high limit what you can the oil price.
Oh, how much you can raise the price?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was some weird thing in Korea where there might have been some gas stations scamming people possibly or something.
Not scamming, they just usually when the war kind of happening, it affects like 1 or 2 weeks later.
Okay.
But this time, it's next day.
Oh, so they just did it immediately.
Yeah.
It was like, because the news was like 52% jump.
Yeah,
kind
so
of thing.
people
Right.
just, start sharing about where you can get the cheap gas.
Right,
And
right,
this
right.
morning, literally, my friend said,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm using the transportation again because gas is too expensive. I'm start walking.
Right.
Yeah, could you recommend like cool sneakers, whatever?
Yeah, so gas costs too much, time to walk. Now, it's a different area, sort of, what's the word to say it? We have a different infrastructure over here. So mass transit's really, really good. So if the car situation is just too expensive to drive, you can hop on the subway. It's about $1, go anywhere in the city. That would be in Seoul, Busan. Now, smaller cities, they're not going to have as great a mass transit as here.
They don't have a subway, but they still have bus.
Yeah, they'll have buses, and buses are actually pretty good in Korea in most cities that we've been to. So that is a important thing. Now the USA doesn't necessarily have that, and for some people, and this is something that was interesting, like how our cities are constructed. So chances are, like say you work in an office building, just for example, and you live close to work or whatever. It doesn't have to be office building, but if you live close to work, the real estate tends to be more expensive.
Yeah.
Farther away from work tends to be
Cheaper.
cheaper, right? So the lower on the economic scale, the farther you have to go into work, right? So it's like how can I say it? It's a bad system to where not only do you have to pay more to get to work now, you get paid less to go, right? And for some people, like it is a massive increase in costs because you're looking at right now we're I think 115 a barrel, possibly 150 is where everyone thinks it's going to go now, and then there's talk at 200. So normally I think, yeah, I mean you're looking at maybe triple your cost or whatever, right? And U.S. is a car society. Now that's just the car stuff.
And oil,
right?
the car gas is just started.
Right.
So one of my friends, she just bought a bunch of toilet paper too.
Do they do that in Korea?
I don't know. She read that somewhere the oil price affect the toilet paper too, so she bought some.
Don't start that in Korea. That's more of an American thing. We got into toilet paper. I don't. That's bad culture. We don't want the hoarding of the toilet paper. So don't think there's no shortage of that I know of. There's no shortage of toilet paper. There's only a shortage if you believe there's a shortage, and then you start hoarding it in your barn somewhere in the back of the house. Yeah, really? Is she buying toilet paper? It's crazy. I didn't know Koreans did that.
I didn't know that, but she did it.
I only thought Americans did that. And if you guys are hoarding toilet paper in Europe, please let us know. It's crazy. The other thing that's going on is with the oil. So we're just getting to work. It affects all transportation.
Oh, sure.
Right. So like if I have to transport food, or if I transport goods from the factory, or transport goods from the ship that just came in and across the country, or whatever.
Plane.
Yeah. Yep. Air travel, etc. And then you have oil is used to make a lot of things, right? So, let's just say this: the longer this goes, it'll be really ugly for inflation. And at the moment, the bet is the Fed will make a move or whatever, depending if what they're going to do. Maybe September would be the soonest they do anything. So the bet right now is cut, but you never know. I just saw the news from England is that I think they're going to possibly raise.
Yeah.
Because they're worried about inflation.
They're already, they're already, suffering with higher inflation.
Right.
They're expecting more.
Yeah. So because the people are like, okay, so who's going to be hit? Actually, Korea's going to be hit pretty hard.
Because we don't produce any oil.
Yeah, we don't have any, so we have to import a whole bunch, right? So basically, if you're a country that doesn't have your own oil and you have to import a lot, you're going to be hit pretty hard. I think the bigger ones are going to get hit. I think it's Italy is going to struggle. I think the UK is going to struggle. Supposedly we're okay because you said we have some.
We, before the USA attacked Iran, there's how you call
we have tanker ship.
Yeah, tanker ship. We are the only one tanker ship who crossed the border.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
Yeah, border before the war, basically.
Yeah, and I actually showed people on the channel this. So basically, what it was, the fighting's just started, and all these tankers are sitting in the Gulf, like in the water. Like, should we go? What do we do? And the one Korean ship's like, I'm just gonna go as fast as we can and go, which is pretty risky, but
Yeah, but I think we do have a history, so they decide to just go as fast as we can. So they just
yeah, the only one, and they made it. And I showed you guys the map. It was like the only ship.
it's coming. So
Yeah.
according to the government says we are fine for 6 months.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. So theoretically, but I don't know. This is such a volatile situation. I mean, that's what they say, and they because today I think the G7 had a meeting and they're talking about releasing reserves to try to calm the oil. The problem was it's like I was looking at the chart. It's just like that, right? I think at one point it was 28% up in one day for oil, which is crazy, right? In one day,
Yeah, as you say that,
what's that?
Trump mentioned just there's this tiny increase, right? You
Yeah.
don't even notice.
And then it's everything. You're all gonna win. And then he said this weird thing that you'll be a fool not to agree or something to that effect. I mean, Trump's just off his rocker. He's crazy, and he was out golfing this weekend. That's what he's doing.
Really?
Yeah, seriously, it's crazy. Now, this would be a major scandal in any other country in the world if, like, hey, oil prices skyrocketing, and you're bombing people, basically. Hey, I'm just gonna go golfing. Like in any normal country, this would be a massive scandal. You'd be out of office.
Yeah.
So
you impeach right away.
Yeah, in any normal country. And it's hard to explain to people when you see the Republicans, his party, go on TV and they just say like the craziest crap. So do you know what a draft is?
Draft. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were actually talking about draft today on TV. The Karen Levitt, the crazy lady who wears a cross. Yeah, she was actually seriously. They asked her, what do you think? Mothers are worried about the military draft. Are we gonna have to go? And she's like, well, Trump is keeping all options on the table. So they don't say no.
Yeah.
They just say like, hey, well, option open, which is pretty ridiculous.
Just send your kid first.
Yeah, and we talked about that before. For any of this kind of stuff, if Trump really wants to do this stuff, or any of these Republicans, send your kids. Send all of your money and send your kids, and you go do it, right? And if you're not willing to do that, don't drag everyone else down with them. And then the other thing that's going on, as you guys know, Hermione, his son, because he died now, his son is now going to lead. And Al Jazeera was reporting, I guess, all of the clerics, I guess, you call them like the church leaders, however you want to call these people, was clerics the word that they use in English, are going back in behind him. Because so these kind of things is where there could have been any number of people who could have, theoretically they voted for and they decided to go with. And then the idea is you have to get everyone to, back and say, okay, we agree that this is the person that we're going to, follow, whatever. From their point of view, like, just imagine, your dad was killed, and you had family members killed, and friends killed, and colleagues, right?
I'm sure that he wants revenge.
Yeah,
revenge for your country too.
So it's going to get pretty ugly. And then they have an easy message of like, hey, we're getting attacked from Israel and USA, and they want to come take our country. So they're not going to.
They have to protect their country.
Yeah. So that's the part that Americans usually don't understand. They're just like, don't you want to be bombed and have American freedom, which is bombs? Like, that's like in the American mind.
So you guys bombed the elementary school, right?
Yeah. So that's and it's been something that's been talked about quite heavily here in Korea, and it's just the whole thing's awful. So I don't ever want to lose sight that there are people on the ground. We talk about the markets, but you do have to talk about all of it, and then also just the no matter what the numbers say. So, if you turn on financial news, someone will say, hey guys, the economy's doing great and blah, blah, blah. But the way our economy is shaped, like a lot of it's designed for Elon Musk. Okay, so maybe he's going to buy 10 yachts this year, but what about everyone else? And so this is what we're going to be watching for, with this is one is like, okay, watch the price of oil. What's going to happen? Watch unemployment, right? And just see how people are doing. Now, we actually faced a similar situation back in the 70s in USA with like a massive, oil crisis. This time around, what people have been saying, and this is more the scarier version, what if you had this oil crisis where people fighting over oil, right, in the USA, waiting at the pump, that kind of stuff, the gas station, the long lines, and you add the fact that there's a whole bunch of guns out there. right?
Yeah, pretty
So
scary.
you just, America is really volatile. I'm just telling you the truth about this stuff. And so that's where having someone like Trump is just not good. You need someone to like calm people down. Don't go rush into the gas station or the toilet paper and, try to keep people calm. But it's hard to do when you see on TV, like the way the Trump people talk is just like insane.
Yeah, they're just praying, I guess.
Yeah, they were pranks. Those for reals. And that looked insane as well, like this weird cult meeting. So that's where we are. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll make a later video giving you the details of sort of various things going on in the market, but just wanted to share you guys with you. Yes, our market is crashing here in Korea. They froze the market. They call it circuit breaker, and we'll see if it's going to continue tomorrow. Want to share your thoughts? Please do. We'd like to hear, and we'll catch you on the next video. So, bye.